pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Well, we'll start our meeting with Attorney Shipman.
I do have a policy that I'm looking at, but circle back to me later in the meeting that has to do with COVID-19, and I just want to read through it one last time before we talk about it. So.
Good enough. Okay. And that's it otherwise?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Stanley.
Well, before I start on the update, I would like to explain being dressed in green. It doesn't have anything to do with cancellation of ceremonies for that day that I never talk about because I'm not Irish, but I'm celebrating Kermit the Frog. So,
Kermit the Frog. Stanley o' Crum.
I will flip down through this and pull out parts of it and you'll have it to read, but I've listed the present board members. You will see one change, the addition of Jeff Conrad, who is an at-large, and at-large being not connected to a county in his case, an at-large member. The rest of the list is pretty much the same as you've seen from past reports. We all shared emails back in late February at the loss of Don Minter. He was a member of Woodland Lakes for years and years, and he was a genuinely kind and considerate, caring man, and unfortunately he died on February the 20th at 91, I think. And so we were saddened by that. Frances Krauskopf, however, I went to do my meeting with her in October, I think, and she looked at me after we had talked about her land and the summary of what she was going to do on it this year and so on, and she said, well, I've got some news. And I said, what's that? And she said, well, if I make it on January the 16th, I'll be 100 years old. So I thought that was pretty neat, and we all signed a card and made sure she had that. You do make relationships like that with the people that own the land and have the conservation easements, and it's really kind of neat to be friends with them in that way. Donations during the 2019 year, and I gave a title. I have this listing, but you wouldn't be particularly interested in that. But donations to Woodland Lakes have given us an income during 2019 of $31,129.04. You can't leave those off. And we had expenses this year, in 2019, of $5,225.33. So that gives us a difference of $25,903.71. So what do we do with that money? Well, there's a couple reasons why that our expenses are low. Lisa Ledgerwood, who was the office lady, she, due to family reasons, and I think I brought this up at the last meeting time we talked about the board. She chose to leave the board, which took a minimum of about $12,000 out of our expenses, and we have not yet been able to replace her with someone that will work on a part-time basis at the amount we can pay. So one thing we're doing with those funds is right now keeping them in cash balance in order to perhaps be able to hire someone to help with the paperwork load. And right now we've just farmed that out, and members are doing it, basically. Board members are doing it. We are better off monetarily now than we have been in years. I'm sure you can think back to when I first started to represent you on the board, and at that time we were probably a month from going out of existence. Well, now we have got a sizable amount of money in the Steuben County Community Foundation, and they give us a check once a year from that amount. But the way that was established doesn't allow us to draw on it by choice. So we really don't consider that to be working dollars. And then we have, along with the leftover income from this year, or well, 2019, and some other funding that was there, a cash balance that allows us now, without any concern, to pay insurance fees and property taxes and that kind of thing with no hesitation. However, things are going to get remarkably better by about the end of this month. In the one paragraph there, you see that through investments in Vanguard, which are beyond our cash balance, we have, and this has come about due to the craziness of this market drop, but we have plus or minus 89,000, so we have that in growth investment, not wild radical growth investment, conservative, but we have that at much better than bank interest rate, which isn't saying much, given that bank interest rate, what is 0.5% or something, yeah. But it's much, much, much better than that. And our investments there have lost 7.2% in a market that's lost better than 20%. So we feel comfortable with how we've established that. We feel comfortable with income. But in the next paragraph, it tells you that by the end of the month, we will be finishing a sale of the farm that was donated to the board about 3 years ago, three and a half, somewhere in there, that we have referred to as the Fair Farm, and it for a whole lot of reasons. Well, first of all, legally we could not create a conservation easement on that land and hold the easement, because that's not allowed for the same group that holds it to create it. But in addition to that, the land is 39 acres, I think, and right in the middle of a development zone that is basically pushing all the time to go for more housing in that area. This is up by Elkhart. And so what we finally did was to, after considerable consideration, to put out for real estate offers on that, and we got one that was really good at $9,000 per acre, and so that puts us at a $370,645 closing. But that's kind of a minus total, because we will cover half the closing cost. And that may sound a little strange, but it was part of the deal we worked out, where if we were to cover half of the closing costs, then there wouldn't be commissions in the price. And that was suitable to the buyer and suitable to us. So it's our hope that once we have completed the sale, we will be able to worry way less about the in perpetuity aspect of conservation easements, and always needing to have some group there that will be ready to go to court and to defend those easements if they were to be challenged. How often does the land turn over and where a challenge might occur? Well, that's another question that between 2018 and 2019 got its answer in the land that I do the monitoring on. It turned out that 2 of my properties changed hands in the last 2 years, and 1 of mine will change hands this year. I think it's due to me. I don't think they like Kermit, so I think they have just been, no, actually it's people who are getting older, who are leaving farming or whatever for a different kind of life and have found good buyers, and I've been able to form a relationship with those people. But the land turns over more often than you would think, and if someone would want to come in and buy it and try to fight the easement, then the easement has to be defended. And that's where we have been feeling exposed for quite some time. We are looking at new easements. So we have one that we're going to be reviewing in Huntington County, and one up close to South Bend. Both of those are farms, And then there's one close to Bristol, Indiana, that we normally would not take on, but they have offered it to us with absolutely no hesitation to tell us that they want the easement for a tax shelter. But they are willing to help us with an ongoing income to us via donation. And I think that's really where the tax shelter will come for them, because and we aren't crazy about those conditions, but depending on how it all works out and what the easement says, we may go ahead and do that one and have a bit more income and stability in the board and in the employment if we can get someone to join us, or even maybe raise the amount we can pay. So those are future easements, and then all of our existing easements are still in place. I don't know if at the last time I talked to you, I talked about the Dr. Dillon property becoming covered, the most of it under an easement, but that was finalized in 2019. And so at this point, with everything that we have covered and taking on the new ones, we'll be covering or protecting 10,500 plus acres of agricultural land. So that's a quick run through on the year of 2019, and I kind of thought this maybe was a better way to go than to try to meet every 3 months or something with a set of minutes that in honesty don't mean much. They don't come together quite as well. So, do you have questions?
This is a great document. Thank you, Stanley. Does anyone have questions for Stan?
I don't think so at this time.
We'd like to thank you very much for your service, for the folks that out there that may not know. Stanley is the commissioners, Whitley County Commissioners representatives to woodlands and lakes, and he's done a wonderful job. We're very proud to have him.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you, Stanley.
Nathan, are you ready? I am skipping performance, right?
If it's okay with you, I've got 2 rezonings, and then I have 2 plats and a contract that we can discuss at the end or whenever you want to. But the rezonings were on the agenda. So, first one is, and you should have gotten copies in your packet, I hope, of the staff report. First one is for Rupley, the Kenneth and Barbara Rupley property down on State Road 114 at Washington Road. This was heard at the February Plan Commission meeting. What they're seeking to do is rezone their property from AG Agricultural to GC General Commercial. They've been operating since they opened under a special exception from the BZA, which was contingent upon ownership. Since they're looking at the next steps when they retire, they would like to rezone this. It seems like that would be an easier situation rather than dealing with amending special exceptions and so on.
Okay.
Also, more Also importantly, it gives them the opportunity if they need to also expand the business a little bit without having, again, to go back through the approval process. This did receive a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. So petitioners in the audience, I believe, if you've got any questions for me or them, be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Does anyone like to make a motion that we accept the...
Yeah, I move we approve this favorable recommendation for ordinance 2020-03 for the Rupley property to be zoned.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you on that one. Next one is for the Cidermill Propane property. This is located on Cidermill Road, just west of State Road 205. What they are seeking to do is two parts. Being one property, we allow for two reclassifications in one document. At some point in time in the past, a portion of the property was zoned GC General Commercial to allow for a auto repair business, which has closed, and so the petitioners are seeking to rezone that back to AG to match the bulk of the property as well as the surrounding area. And then the Cidermill Propane facility is seeking to expand its offices into an existing outbuilding that's on the property. And in order to do that, they're seeking a rezoning to IPM, Industrial Park Manufacturing, which is what the rest of the facility is zoned. So we have two components, both on the same property there. This too was heard at the same meeting as the previous one and also received a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission without much comment. Public did have, we did have one comment from the public, and that was actually in favor of the rezoning, so that was good news for that. And the petitioner is in the audience as well if we have questions on this.
Will the office, excuse me, the office that's currently on 300 East then, will that move to Cidermill?
I believe that is the case, yes.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
Yeah, being on the planning commission and they approved it unanimously, I'll move that we approve ordinance 2020-04 on the Cidermill property.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you. Do you wish me to go on with the other couple items or come back at the end?
What's your feelings?
Might as well keep going.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Let's see. So the plats I have, the first one is a plat, a one-lot plat to be called Hitzman Estates. This is located on State Road 14, west of County Line Road, 800 East. What is being proposed is one lot for future development, basically. There is a 60-foot wide gap unique to this property between the eastern line of what is being proposed and Ms. Hitzman's own property that she lives on. That is intended to allow for farm access and then potential street access in the future to the bulk of the acreage to the south. To the west of this and partially on this property there is a floodplain, and so it didn't make sense to expect access to go through that floodplain in the future. So otherwise it's a standard one lot plat, again received Plan Commission approval in February.
Okay.
And again, this went through secondary staff approval?
It will, yes.
Okay.
that comes after your approval and acceptance.
I make a motion that we approve the Heitzman Estates.
Okay, we have
Plat.
a motion on the floor. Second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you.
While you're signing that, I'll move on to the next one. This was also approved by the Planning Commission at the same meeting. It's another one-lot plat to be called Traybert subdivision located on Kaiser Road, southwest of State Road 9. This is nestled amongst several other previous plats. The original tract was very large, so there have been some previous subdivisions from this. I believe this is actually for the one of the children of the parent tract owners, and so they plan to build a house. So again, a one-lot plat with county road right-of-way being dedicated.
Entertain a motion?
Yeah, I move we approve the Traybert subdivision plat on
Okay.
Kaiser Road.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you. And the final order of business, at a previous meeting, the commissioners had opened some RFQs from planning consultants for the comprehensive plan update for the county. Since then, the partial steering committee met with the 3 consultants and interviewed them and came up with a recommendation. The recommendation is for Planning Next, which is actually out of Columbus, Ohio. We had 2 from Indianapolis and then Planning Next from Columbus, Ohio. All were felt to be very competent consultants and could do the job adequately. Planning Next, to paraphrase, was felt to be the most engaged with the public involvement, and the steering committee really felt like that was an important component of this, more than just an administrative update, which the other 2 seem to be more tuned towards. So with that, the proposed total fee is $82,000 to be paid in 2 components, $70,000 to be paid as work is completed over 2020, and then the remainder as a not to exceed, so we may not hit that number, the remainder then being paid in 2021. So we had asked them to see if they could break that out to straddle the budget years, and that was the best they really could do given the timelines. The expectation is that everything would be done by December, except for any timeline that may have to be taken for actual adoption. So it may be early January when it's formally adopted, but ideally everything will be done by December. And I believe, having talked with George and Tom before, I think you have been wanting large sums like this to also go before the council as well for their blessing. So this would be, if you do approve it, it would be contingent upon their review, I believe.
Okay.
And the consultant has been notified of that.
And we probably should do a favorable pass motion too. Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll do a favorable pass for Planning Next at $82,000 to update our comprehensive plan.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Under discussion, Are these monies already set aside?
We had 50,000 for last year that they didn't use.
Yeah, so,
Didn't see them.
okay. Okay, any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you. Good to see that going.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think the pin's on there somewhere. Okay. Okay, Brandon had nothing for us today, so he will not be here. Jennifer, do you have? Okay. Matt, are you ready?
Yeah, well, yes and no. So, in looking through this proposed policy and kind of contemplating also the fact that our governor at 2:30 is about to make an announcement that the Senate, U.S. Senate's potentially ratifying the bill that they did last week, and then the president's going to make an announcement, it would be my recommendation that we hold off.
Yeah.
It is just a policy, and so I think we can do this tomorrow. But anything that we do right now, frankly, could just become obsolete in a half hour. And that we spend this afternoon, as these things come down, figuring out what the policy should actually be based on what potentially the higher-ups tell us it has to be, rather than try and do something that we just have to redo.
Yeah, this is just a very dynamic process. You can decide something right now, and in 15 minutes say, well, that was wrong.
And Ed and I did step out and talk about it. I think that's kind of exactly where Ed is as well on the whole thing, so.
Sure. All right, are you guys okay with holding off until we see what the governor and the president have to say? Okay. Anything else, Matt?
No.
Tiffany, anything? Commissioner?
The only thing I had is, I think we had talked about, the prosecutor and Bill Bryce had talked to us about an interrogation room.
Yes.
The need for some funding for that for this next year. I don't know if you wanted to say something about that. And I think we've got, well, I know that we've got enough in on-site, off-site that we could take that out of.
Okay.
It's a great program, and I think it needs to be funded.
Bill, are you still here? Bill Brush, hey, do you want to kind of give us an amount on that one? If you want. Are you fever-free? Yeah, sorry about that.
So we have, actually, you have funded an interview center for us for the last 3 years. We originally had it up at the, what's now the Purdue Extension Office, and about a year ago we moved to a location here in town that we rent from Reef Enterprises. At the time when we got that building, it was sufficient for our needs. We'd always hoped that we might be able to get a little bit more space there. And as of March 1st, more space did open up. It would really help us with our interviews. We did 72 child interviews last year between our center and Fort Wayne. And the reason why we had to go to Fort Wayne was because we had that move for 3 months that we were closed looking for a new spot. But normally we would do them all here. So 72 child interviews. We found that doing child interviews in a warm, friendly, inviting location is much better than bringing them to a police station and trying to interview kids there and get them to talk about things nobody wants to talk about. So this additional space has opened up. We've been paying $999.15 per month for the space that we have. And the space, I can't tell you exactly how many square foot that is, but the addition would be 690 square feet, adding $687 a month to our lease, making it a total of $1,686.48 per month, or a total sum for the year of $20,237.80. This is all inclusive. That includes the heat, the electric, the cleaning, not necessarily the cleaning of our area, but the cleaning of the bathrooms, the cleaning of the common areas. So there's no additional amounts over this. There is some other things that we do spend money on, such as the equipment for the interview, and that's all covered by the prosecutor's office.
Okay. Okay. So, the only question I'd have is, can we pledge what would amount to 9 more months? Can we pay what would amount to 9 more months? That looks like we're prepaying the bill.
Or we could just do it monthly.
If we could do it monthly, then I think the State Board of Accounts would probably frown on paying ahead. So, so what you would need then, Bill, is $1,686.15.
$1,686.48.
48.
And they do bill us monthly.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, good, good.
They've asked for a 3-year contract. I've already discussed that with him and told him that we weren't going to enter a 3-year contract with him, and I think he's okay with that.
Okay, appreciate that, yeah, okay. All right.
Matt, do you think you need to look at the contract?
It couldn't hurt. Do you have a copy of the lease at all?
I don't, because we'll have to draw up a new lease.
Is it an
lease that we
extension
have
of the one you
currently.
already have?
I'm sorry,
I think
sir?
I looked at the one that you had currently, and assuming it's the same terms, it should be fine, but are you just changing the square footage? Or are you having a whole new lease?
It's gonna, yes, the square footage basically, because we'll have now 2 units. We'll have Unit E, and I think it's the Unit D, but the verbiage should all be the same, but I can get you a copy of that.
Maybe subject to me looking at it, but it sounds like
I,
it's,
that's what I was gonna say. I think a motion ought to include, subject to our county attorney's review of the papers. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
Yeah, I move we approve this expenditure of additional, what is it, $1,600 a month? Well, not additional 600 some
600, yeah.
687.
687, yeah, okay.
for the interview room and subject to the attorney's approval of the contract, and we'll recommend this to the council.
I'd second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
That's all I have.
Oh, that's all you had. Tom, do you have anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Well, the couple of things that I had, we just said a few minutes ago, it's very dynamic, so never mind what I had to say, because things are changing pretty much by the hour right now. Oh, you want us to do that? Oh, okay. Need a motion for claims.
Well, we approve the payroll claims this time.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular claims.
Accounts payable, okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir.
We got any easements?
Right away. Do that while you're signing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I move we approve the minutes from
March 2nd.
March 2nd meeting, Commissioners meeting.
Have a motion to approve March 2nd minutes.
Those are written.
I'll second.
And I was second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Alrighty. 2 of them?
3.
3?
4 totally.
Oh, okay. Okay, good enough. Yeah.
The right-of-way permit on the east side of Raber Road, south of County Road 1000 South, to install a gas main from NEPSCO. Move we approve it.
We have a motion to approve the permit.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Okay, I'm a little confused here because
Or is it
these,
the same one?
they look like the same one. It's 2525 East Business 30,
Oh, maybe this. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
so 3 copies.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we have a permit request here. The address of where it'll take place is 2525 East Business. It says East Business 3, so they forgot a 0. However, the work is at the following location, 2525 East Business 30, Columbia City. UG duct placement by directional bore, 1 to 1 1/4 inches, 24 count fiber optic at a minimum depth of 48 inches. Install a 2-inch riser core building and seal. And this has been approved by Brandon.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same. That one I'm gonna need back. I don't believe I've signed it yet. All right. I see how they're doing this here now. Not a bad way to do it. Okay. So you'll have 3 different pages. Okay, thanks. Oh, there's another one here, okay. While you're doing that, this next one's a request from NIPSCO. Work to take place on Lincoln Way at County Road 350 East. To tie gas systems together to serve 4707 East Park 30 Drive, Columbia City.
Move we approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Yay. Thank you. Okay, Any members of the public have anything they would like to address to the commissioners today? Well,
So the tax bills need to be sent to the printers this week. And I have no idea what the county policy, what's going to happen here. But I would like to do something as far as limiting the number of people that come in to make payments.
oh, yeah, I was thinking about that.
So a decision's gonna have to be made when we send these to the printers if they want, if we want to add a third sheet, an insert that might say Treasurer's Office not accepting in-person payments, and give our other options for payments. Wondering.
Could you just have a little apron and stand out at the back door and let them drive by and?
I'm over that age that they're talking about, so no, I don't want to.
No.
What is what state statutes say?
I don't think it really, I don't know. I haven't really talked with, or researched.
See, and I thought about it this morning, but I told myself, well, don't worry about it, that's May 10th. You don't have to.
It'll be over with.
No.
But yeah, but you're right, I mean, we got Yowie.
I think absolutely encouraging people to mail it in or pay electronically or whatever the other options are, but I don't know that we can require it. I just don't, off the top of my head, I do not have any idea. When do you have to know that by?
Well, it needs to be to the printer by Thursday, so we need to know.
I'll go back to the office and look and call you, and we'll
Okay.
figure it out.
You won't get back to the office today.
That could be. I will make sure that I get back to you and I don't want to make sure, I don't know what the law is. If we can restrict it, I guess that's the question, is if
But
we
can
can
you-
tell people they can't,
Can we just
are you comfortable
really,
with
really
that?
encourage it?
Right, whether, and we can encourage it by, maybe adding envelopes, self-addressed envelopes. That's something that we don't put in. I mean, it's going to be an expense, but it would encourage them to mail their payments instead of.
I'd almost think it's worth the expense to do that, but that's just my thinking, because this is going to affect the age group that.
Our seasonal help.
Well, that and people who just simply say, no, I've got to go in and make the payment. I've done it for 70 years. I'm gonna do it now. And those are the people likely that shouldn't be out and about
Exactly.
in that. So I feel bad for them.
And then there's the cash payment. There's people that think that this has to be paid in cash, and of course that means in person.
Oh, yeah, sure it would. Yeah, sure it would.
Hey, Don, I think Scott may have a thought.
Just to release some guidance on some of these things we're talking about.
Scott, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
The state did release guidance on what the governor's going to say this afternoon, which covers just not restaurants and bars, but lots of different things. So we'll probably be able to advise her after that on this.
After we hear what that is, okay, yeah.
He's released it to us already, we already have it, but
Okay, yeah.
to say about it. And there's nothing specific to Laurel's situation, but does advise on elderly people and things like that too, so.
And if you think about it, it's not, it is probably during that window, they get the most traffic, but every single office has got traffic, and so.
Yeah, they do.
Not
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much
they do.
as you get for sure
Right.
Yeah.
that time of the year. And you're probably exactly right, Don, that I've never once paid my property tax bill in person, but the generation of people that would be exactly the ones who we don't want coming in and doing it.
And
so-
with cash.
Yeah.
But I think it does affect, I think it affect Kim's office, because if they're gonna come in, they may wanna multitask while they're here. Go to the assessors, or go to the auditors, or whatever, so.
Hopefully what's going to happen is that those people will realize, okay, I shouldn't be making that choice, and I don't know that we can, I just don't know that we can stop it. We'll have to look, because I also don't want, you have a couple of people that like to come up to your office and file and bring all kinds of crazy things in here that will file a lawsuit against us if we have to allow them to come in here. We need to make sure we don't have that, too.
So right now I've got a sample of what the new tax bills look like, and on the back page, the second page on the back, there are bulletin points, and they must be a font of about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
It's just the bulletin points on how you can make payments on these. So I definitely want to add the third, it's called a third page insert, it's a third page, like this size, make it colored.
Yeah, 8.5 by 11.
Put it in with the tax payments, educating people, encouraging them to make payments
Yeah.
other than in person. But what exact verbiage that I use to skirt any legal issues, I would accept that help willingly.
I would say, Scott, did you put the ones up at the doors there? Boy, you can see those when you come in, so it's good ones.
Yeah,
All right, can you give us a day then for Matt to,
I'll call you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soon.
Say Thursday, they have to be sent.
Yeah, but it all has to be approved. I mean, they have to set the font and, all that at the printer, so that all has to be done by Thursday. So,
okay.
for a mail date of April the 2nd.
April 2nd, okay.
April 2nd mail date.
Yeah, that gives them the 30 days then.
Yes.
Theoretically.
Yes, they have to be mailed by April 15th.
Yeah, okay.
So.
All right, well, if you and Attorney Shipman can work together on that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
And I
Is that something, just his approval is all we need for her to do it?
Unless you want to make a motion to...
I'm just asking.
I don't really think an approval needs, I just want to discuss and see what the county's policy was going to, because we have just heard through the grapevine that Noble County is shutting their building down. So I didn't know if Whitley County would follow suit or...
I can tell you that has not been discussed at this point.
All right, thank you very much.
That doesn't mean 5 minutes from now that it won't be discussed.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public have anything? Kim?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Ralph.
Sure.
With personal property filings.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, the same with us. I mean, we've got people coming in, filing for those. Our information, our real estate files will have to be to the printer for our notice of assessments. Second week of April. They have to have those so that those can go out by the statutory date of April 30th. They've got to have them 3 weeks in advance. So they've got time to prepare those files and printing for our Form 11s. People coming in, we'll hope it's by then, but...
When the Form 11s comes out, then they've only got, 45 days to come visit you?
Yes. So, I mean, we're kind of in the same boat. We're not taking money, but I mean, they're still mandated by statutory deadlines.
Well, they have to come in and see you if they want to appeal.
So, we'll need to get something out there too.
And the governor may be working with us on that too, because everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, they are. You know what, that's right. I hadn't thought about that. Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
All 92
Okay.
counties are in the same
Yeah.
deadline, so yeah.
We we might want to be thinking about DLGF,
Yeah.
contacting them too.
I talked to John Toomey today,
Did you?
and I asked him, I had a question for him, I had to call him on, but I asked him if he's heard dealing with any counties where anybody's really closing off right now. He's housed in Marshall County in their extension office, which is under Purdue. Purdue is not active, you know, they've been closed their doors and everything, but as far as counties, he said what today will bring, he didn't know, but at this time.
What the hour will bring, we don't know. All right, well, I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. We'll just stay on it and let us know what your thoughts are, how we should do it.
Yeah, because the Association of Counties may be working on giving you answers also.
Well, yeah.
Have any of our employees seen official word from EIC that it's canceled? Right?
Wednesday's canceled.
Right, okay. I knew they were gonna, I hadn't seen anything official, but I knew they were going to, so.
I think they postponed all district meetings at all, you know, they held off on a couple that were south, way south, but then they ended up canceling them all.
Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you, Kim, appreciate it. Anyone else? Motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Okay.
All in favor? Leave?
I like it here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
So what the guys were here for, did you know what the sheriff's people were here?
I just heard bits and pieces of it.
Okay, so at the federal level,